welcome to a new episode of Review. Today we will take a closer look at a Boeing 747-400 in the Star Alliance livery of Lufthansa. As always, we start off with the box, and here we can see we have the cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft inside. Also on the front side we have the Lufthansa branding and then the writing of New Generation. And correct me if I'm wrong, but if my memory serves me right, this writing of New Generation was something Herpa only did with the very first New Generation models they were making, kind of to promote that they had a new generation. And with that, of course, many updated details, as this isn't something we see in any current releases of Herpa anymore. Now, moving on to the backside of the box, here we can see a really stunning image of the aircraft itself. We also have the original dimensions and some additional information. So that's it for the box. Let's take a closer look at this early new generation model from Herpa Wings. And here she is, the Queen of the Skies, the Boeing 747-400 in the Star Alliance livery of Lufthansa. According to airfleets.net, this aircraft was indeed stored in November 2014. But through the magic of Herpa Wings, we are able to take a closer look at this really stunning looking aircraft model. And as always, we start off with the tail section of the aircraft, and here on the vertical stabilizer we have the Star Alliance logo. On top of that we have the last two letters of the registration code. On the fuselage we then have the full registration code, the German flag, the aircraft type specification and the name of the aircraft, in this case named after the German city of Duisburg. If we then move from the back of the aircraft all the way to the front of the aircraft, we can see along the fuselage the writing of Star Alliance. Just underneath that we have the writing of Lufthansa. We then also have the Lufthansa branding and of course the Star Alliance logo. If we take a closer look at the cockpit itself, we can see here the cockpit windows are pretty nicely detailed, and just above those we have the emergency hatch for the cockpit. Now if we move on and take a look at the wings here, it becomes a little bit tricky, mostly because the wings are painted in white and it makes it really difficult to see the details, but we do have all the different flaps and spoilers and so on, so the detailing is actually quite alright. And of course we do also have the winglets on the 747, and I might be wrong here, but could it be that the 747-400 was the last wide-body aircraft from Boeing that actually has winglets? Because the latest generations of aircraft, the 777s or the 787s, don't. But again, I could be wrong, and if so, feel free to correct me in the comment section below. If you then take a quick look at the underside of the wings, we can also here see some nice details, although again it's a bit difficult due to the white painting. Now, given the fact that this is indeed a very early new generation aircraft model of Herpa Wings, it makes sense to take a look at the landing gear, as this of course was one of the major upgrades the new generation aircraft models of Herpa Wings got. And if we take a look here at the main landing gear, I mean that's not too bad, and also the front landing gear is pretty decent. Now, another place where the new generation aircraft models started to really pull away from the old generation aircraft models were the engines. Now, the engine nacelles are still pretty plain, although they are not bad. But of course the major difference is if we start look into the engines. In this case we have actually pretty nicely detailed engine fan blades, for example. And although it does actually look pretty good, in a more recent release we would often have a darker grey tone inside the engine compared to the outside of the nacelle. And this simply gives the engines a more realistic look. In this case it's simply one piece of plastic and it's all colored the same way. But let us move on to the last few details I want to highlight on this aircraft model, and that's of course the doors to the cargo compartment, as we can see here in the back, and also in the front, as they have been added as well. Now, as this aircraft model obviously has a Airline Alliance special livery, I actually would like to ask you guys a question, and that would be, which Airline Alliance livery do you prefer? The One World livery, the SkyTeam livery, or like in this case, the Star Alliance livery? Let me know in the comment section below. Now with that, we've reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed, feel free to leave a like, that would be very nice. Or if you're new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. And don't miss out on the next episode of Review. We will take a closer look at a Bombardier DHC-8Q400 in the colors of Croatia Airlines. Now, until then, I would like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.